Teepees and tents fill the campsite here at Standing Rock. So many that it's unofficially become known as the 13th largest city in North Dakota. And many of its campers are from Oklahoma.
I own a business in Tulsa. A lot of my clients were really supportive.
Carmen Richardville was supposed to be in the Big Apple, but for the past week she's been here at the big campsite.
I generally take this time off to go to Fashion Week in New York, and this is very, very different. I miss my New York, but this is what really called me, and this is protecting our water.
I'm glad that the word is getting out.
Ashley Crawford arrived from T-Town early this morning with her fiance, Bobby.
Just resting up because I drove for 20 hours straight.
Together, they're hoping their presence helps raise awareness.
You know, a lot of our people back home 2 weeks ago didn't know about this.
Also here from Oklahoma,
I caught a ride via Stillwater through Tulsa.
Beth Kelly, feeling the vibe of unity in the air and hoping to add to it.
I want to contribute my energy.
As for other kinds of contributions, giant tarps cover water and other goods. Firewood is chopped up and distributed amongst the camps within the camp. Noticeably absent is any presence of law enforcement. The only signs of heavy machinery in the pipeline are a few miles down the road, and they sat silent today. As for confrontations with the authorities,
we haven't seen anyone getting pulled over or getting hassled.
Tulsan Mary Irene has been here for a week, and the only turbulence she's seen is the wind blowing through the countless flags.
Our families were afraid for us to come up, or, you know, people getting arrested and the cops, and kind of almost it's out there that the police are trying to deter people from being here, but we haven't seen that at all.
At Standing Rock in North Dakota, Bert Mumolo, Tulsa's Channel 8. At its core, it's a site of protest, with the road leading here peppered with defiance. But the feeling within the camp is one of community, so much so that today it was also the site of a field trip.
That pipeline breaks, that oil will get in the water.
These are the children of the Standing Rock Sioux.
We brought the 5th through 8th grade up from the Rock Creek Grant School.
Their teachers giving them a tour of what has become a historical gathering.
I hope you guys know how big this is.
What is it Sunshine Carlo wants to get through to her class?
I want you guys to know that we're fighting not just for our own people, but for rights for all Native people.
Central to the lesson plan, we deserve as much respect as anyone else.
Meaningful consultation happened for Bismarck, and they said, we don't want it here. It's a threat to our water. But it didn't happen here. We weren't given that opportunity to say, we don't want it here either. It's a threat to our water.
Add to that a vocabulary lesson that the words nation, sovereign, promise, and treaty should not be synonymous with disappointment when it comes to dealing with the federal government.
So many people are here because it's something that's happened over history, and we don't want it to happen, and it doesn't have to happen anymore. And I want you guys to fight for that when you get older, okay? Yeah. I want you to know that. Know that for your children and your grandchildren.
At the Standing Rock protest in North Dakota, Bert Mumolo, Tulsa's Channel 8. The sound of the drums wasn't coming from within the camp. It came from the column of marchers headed down Highway 1806 towards a pipeline construction site.
This isn't just about safe water for Indian people, it's about safe water for all of us in the long term.
Tracy and her husband Robert, two of several Tulsans, including Bobby Rubidoux, taking part in the long procession.
Show our presence, let it be known that we're still here, because if we just stay down there, then we're out of sight, out of mind.
And here to make sure another water quality issue stays on people's minds.
Our water's tainted with arsenic out on Hopi.
Lidell Tallis from Arizona, showing solidarity and piggybacking their issue onto Standing Rock's.
We also have our own water issues that we got to press.
That theme of water quality in other regions expanded on by fellow marchers.
Look at the eruption at Yellowstone. They're still cleaning up. Look at the oil spill in the Gulf. They can't clean it up. They're causing destruction.
The march would end with a prayer ceremony they asked us not to film. A private moment of reflection on a world stage of protest.
We're doing something for the whole humanity.
While the campsite itself is relatively new, the scores of teepees at Standing Rock instantly convey a sense of history.
People are going to learn about this for the next 100 years.
And not just for the mission of trying to protect the water, but also what the cause has done for the people involved in the fight.
Just the unity of people coming together. It's been really awesome to see that.
A unity that has not always been in place as freely as the flags of the various nations flowing side by side.
We have our ancestral enemies here camped with us.
One of the tribes that hasn't exactly had a kumbaya past.
We have been formal enemies, you know, not just the Pawnee and the Sioux, but the Pawnee and many.
As Bobby Rubidoux explains, the Pawnee had a reputation for stealing horses.
We have an old saying, you know, a Pawnee, we used to go in and we used to take their horses, but their women would come willingly.
That humor has helped heal old wounds.
You walk up to everybody and everybody looks at you, smiles, nods their head.
And that is an indication of just how big this issue is to Native Americans, squashing old grievances for the greater good, at least for now.
You know, what happens after this, I can't say, but as of right now, we stand with the Sioux. But tomorrow, or, you know, when this is done.
If any horses are missing.
Exactly. Some horses come up missing, you know, then they're going to automatically think we took them.
In North Dakota, Bert Mumolo, Tulsa's Channel 8. The path of the pipeline has been carved into the landscape for as far as the eye can see from both sides of Highway 6. And there in the distance on the west side, sections of pipe were laid out this weekend just a few miles from the camp at Standing Rock.
It is discouraging to know that it's still going on.
They've called it psychological warfare, that they're coming out on the weekend in unexpected times to do it.
Tribal consultation is important. This is indigenous land.
Myron Dewey, cell phone in hand, using social media to broadcast the latest pipeline development.
I really appreciate you guys being here to witness this.
That fire of outrage, matched only by the glow of the main campfire as darkness fell at Standing Rock. The hypnotic, rhythmic sounds of the traditional music providing an engine-like drive to the long line moving methodically through the main kitchen tent.
This is where we do all our serving.
Roxanne White has been here for a month and is one of the vertebrae in the backbone of the camp.
We've fed up to I'd say close to 2,500 during one meal.
A demand that's taking a toll on supplies.
Right now we're struggling for meats. We need fish, hamburger, buffalo, elk, whatever anybody can donate.
All of their cooking is powered by natural flame, with wood donated by people like Jerry Thex, who drove 463 miles with trees and a chainsaw.
Something inside me said, you have to go, you have to be there.
That same something drew one woman from Kentucky.
It took us 5 days to get here.
And another from across the ocean.
We're coming from Hawaii, Honolulu, Hawaii.
That influx has grown the camp to thousands, a feat that still amazes Justin Rowland.
40 people, main campers all summer long.
That's how many people were here when he arrived on May 26th. And he plans to stay all winter long.
I grew up without water, running water my entire life, okay? This is not rough. Believe me.
Examples of devotion to a cause with no clear path to victory. The future at once as dark as midnight in the camp, but as bright as the full moon over Standing Rock. In North Dakota, Bert Mumolo, Tulsa's Channel 8.